Very cool. Well, I don't know Joe, folks, but I've been having a lot of financial troubles, and it's constantly the same call from my father all the time. It's like, Shawn, how much money are you saving? Shawn, how much money are you saving? And so finally I confront my father and I'm like, look, Dad, I'm willing to accept that cats and dogs have souls, but money is an inanimate object, and it's not possible for it to receive salvation. But yeah, I'm glad you're laughing. We've had a lot of tough times in my family recently. This fall, one Sunday, an uncle of mine, he passed away suddenly. It was really tough for our family, but it wasn't his fault. I mean, the wide receiver looked open. Subtlety, gotta love it. So, a lot of my friends, they told me they're getting ready for high school, college reunions in the spring. And one of the things whenever you go to a reunion like this that's always very tempting is to go to someone you haven't seen in a long time and be like, hey, you know, I used to have a big crush on you back in the day. I never could tell you, but I had a big crush. And this is something that in my life I never do. I never tell anyone that I used to have a crush on them. Because I've come to understand that when you tell someone, hey, I used to have a big crush on you, what you are really saying is, hey, I used to masturbate about you a lot. Like all the time. I mean, you weren't around, but you were in my head. I know you're pretty normal in real life, but ooh, the things you used to be up to in my fantasies. Ooh,
good, man.
I don't know if we should even talk about it in public. I'm going to leave right now. But yeah, I think it's good for a lot of people to have role models in their life, people they can look up to. As a young man, I always looked up to my grandfather, primarily because of the fact that he was convinced he was the King of Belgium and demanded that we kneel at all times in his presence. Well, I like to read, like to relax. Now I know that the movie is coming out very shortly for 50 Shades of Grey, which is based on the erotic novel 50 Shades of Grey. And since I like to read so much, I like to read this book, I like to also try to write. And I think that in order to succeed, I've got to get it on the ground level, and I've got to write my own erotic novel that hopefully will one day get adapted into a film. And I've actually been working on it, and I've finally achieved it. You see, it's a story about a young man who falls in love with and has a torrid, very disturbing, kinky affair with a young, seductive female accountant. I've entitled it, She Had the Tightest Budget in Town. Well, thank you very much for your time. My name is Shawn Barron. Enjoy the rest of your evening.